Mo. I love that movie. It's so good. Oh, and right there, we're starting another episode. This is episode 12. I play this game too, not right now, but I do play it. Oh, good. It's a very fun one. I'll watch you to avoid watching my portfolio. Well, see, the secret there is I am what you call a long-term dividend investor, which realistically I think is one of the smartest investment types, personal opinion. Basically, like, I teach a certain amount of investing to people. And there's the main thing to remember with investing is that each type of investing is a different sport, essentially. So you need to know the rules of the game based on what you're doing. So like if you're trying to play one sport with the wrong rules, you'll lose, right? Or you'll burn hard. And so it's like you have to know what you're doing and then be appropriate in your how you play the game, plus what you're doing and why and everything else. But yeah. Made videos about it? No, not really. I've personally tutored a couple people on it, though. I think at this point I've talked to, oh golly, how many people have I done? I think I've personally tutored, I think, 5 or 6 people now on investments, personal investments. It's one of my favorite subjects. I love talking about money. Oh, it's my favorite. But yeah, primarily, I can give you a quick rundown on stocks. It's very simple. There's 3 or 4 major stock trading types. The main one is like long-term gain, dividend investing, and then people that are playing fast, playing really fast. So basically what you end up with is, like, if you're dividend investing, it's like buying milk cows and then just collecting the milk. You never sell the cows, you keep the cows, you just collect and sell the milk, right? That's dividend investing. And then growth investing is you buy a cow as a baby, you buy a calf, you raise it until it's so big, and then sell it at a profit. The problem is when you sell at a profit, you also pay capital gains tax and the maximum amount of penalties for it, right? What's minimum investment? Honestly, you can invest whatever you want. Generally speaking, so like the thing that I like about dividend investing is it's buy and hold forever. So you don't care about price raises, price drops. You don't care about recessions or whatever. As long as the companies stay healthy during whatever trials they're going through, your investments are basically fine. Like I think I went up like 70% during COVID. Like, COVID was phenomenal. I loved COVID as far as the market went. And it was because all my companies were super healthy. Everyone panic sold. And so they went on sale. So I bought more. It's like, heck, you get a good deal, you can't turn it down. You know what I mean? But if you're looking like book wise, like if you want to like just read and listen to a really, really good investor, like professional investor that teaches, my mentor through that was, you mean you don't have much funds? You can start with literally nothing. You can do $100 a month. Like, you can do just minimal. The main thing is you want to be consistent with how much you put in over the long run. And then, so what is the minimum amount? Just whatever. Like, for example, one of my accounts, I had it set to just a trickle amount. It started in 2019 and I was trickling, I think, $100 a month into it. And that was it for like 4 or 5 years. And that account is up to like 9 grand, that one account. And all I did was like $100 a month for that one. So that one, and that was my worst performing. That one was the worst performing one I was involved in too. And I still got up to like 9K in like 4 years. And then like my best accounts are all dividend based. And what you do is you buy into the stock. The stocks pay you dividends either monthly or quarterly or annually. Generally speaking, it's either monthly or quarterly. And then you just take the money that you get in your investments or get from your dividends back, and you turn around and buy more of the same stock or different stock that offer the same kind of thing back. So it's like, and it's a big moment. Like, it was a big oohoo moment for me when I had like $1,000 in one of my stocks. It was the first stock I'd ever bought, and I got my dividend and I looked at it and I went, there's enough money here to buy another full share for free. Like just from the dividend, I could buy a full share just from the dividend. And as soon as that clicked in my brain, I was like, I got it. This is easy. I know exactly how to do this. And then I've just been doing that ever since, and it's phenomenal. It's so much fun. And the other thing that people talk about, one of the main issues that you'll find when listening to like mainstream investors is they all talk about this, oh, you need 2 or 3 million in order to be able to have a 4% return. And it's like, sort of. If you're doing long-term investments like index funds and you're only going to pull off the minimal amount, then yes, you need, multiple million in order to retire. But it's like, if you're doing like dividend investing, it's like, how much money do you want? Do you want 1,000 a month? Do you want 2,000 a month? Do you want 3,000 a month? Like, it's just a scale game at that point, and it's significantly easier. Oh dear, I have all this crap and I gotta, This is one thing I can't wait till we get to the drones on, because the drones, I can just have one chest labeled dump with a supply all, and I just click on it and dump everything in it, and then the drones sort for me, and I don't have to do this. Because my aluminum is full, and my inventory is full of aluminum, and that one's full, and that one's full. And this is, I was about to say, and there's no iron, but there was. Let's throw this down here. There we go. But yeah, so basically, like as far as like the investing stuff goes, really all you're looking for is you want to find what your ballpark is, right? So are you trying to retire? Are you trying to increase your monthly income? Are you trying to build cash flow? Are you trying to just milk the market for the maximum return? Like what is the game that you're playing, right? Because depending on what you want out of the market is what you need to do to get there, right? And realistically, most of the directions I think are fine in the long term. Most of the investment strategies are fine as long as you understand the rules and stick to it. A key one that I talk to people about is like, if you have a good monthly income and you just want to retire, index funds are fantastic. Just buy the S&P 500. That's it. But buy as much of it as you can, hold it for forever, and you'll maximize your returns and you'll be fine, right? Like that's by far the easiest option. For me, I live in an area where both my job and you're on social distance, but I'm good with money, yeah, I get you. So a couple things. The one is I live in an area where the income is not real high, and the chance of getting pay raises isn't real high either, right? So it's like you need money, you need raises, but you may or may not get the raises you need, right? So like for me, doing dividend investing was, hey, I need a raise and I'm not going to get a raise from work, right? So the long-term dividend investing is I'm going to invest into a stock that will then pay me back. And then that money paid back is my bonus. And then I just did that for forever, right? That's what I did, and I've had phenomenal success with it. Makes sense for sure. Oh yeah. And that's the key thing. There are people that they straight up swear by index funds, like up and down, and that's fine. Index funds are fine. For me, it's just I don't have I don't live in an industry area where I can count on getting raises to make up the difference in the long term. So like, I wouldn't be surprised if in the next 10, 15 years, cost of living is so garbage where I am that your 9 to 5 isn't enough. Like we've basically seen the house pricing in my area almost double in like 3 years, which is horrific. We don't live in a high enough income area for that. We have a ton of people from out of state moving here, and then a ton of rich people moving here that are paying premium prices for not premium houses, and it's the market is just going through the roof. Like I bought my house, and in the first 6 months it jumped by 50%. Like mad. My house was like 200K is what it was listed at. Within the first 6 months it was 300, and it's like, no, this house is not worth 300. I understand that's what the market price says on it, but that's not what it's worth. It's like that's what inflated value says it's worth. Okay, what are we doing here? I need to check and see what our next line is. But yeah, so basically what I recommend doing is look, if you want to do like dividend based, like what I'm doing, you want to go on to like, I do like Yahoo Finance or something, I wonder how much difference between USA and Canada when it comes to stock market. I don't know on that. If you're in Canada, you also need to make sure that there's no like weird laws or taxing penalties for you for owning or buying or selling shares from other countries, because some countries are a little nitpicky on that, so you got to watch out. But otherwise, you should be fine. All right, so we had that extra drill. Did we end up with a ton of osmium? We did. Did we end up with a bunch of super? We sort of did. Okay. 2, 4, 6. Oh, that's 8. That's enough for another drill. Oh, also, we need to do this if we can. I need a super, which I just used. Okay. All right, well, in that case, let's go do 2 of those, 3 of those, and we're ready to go grab another super. Yeah, we got to go visit our super cave again. I don't think I'm allowed to spend my checks on stocks. Probably not. If you're on like Social Security or not Social Security, if you're on like welfare, you're not supposed to spend it on stock at all. So like that is from what I understand, that's one of the key no-nos. Is it's like if you are on that, they absolutely do not want you investing in at all. If you have just like, you know, like a boring job, then you can do stuff. Assistance, I'm not sure what assistance is versus. I'm not sure what assistance translates to as far as the English or the American system. I don't know if assistance is. Yeah, not allowed to play. Okay, yeah. So for yours, you're just, you know, you're just stuck where you're at. The key thing that you can do though, where you are on assistance, is you want to find, and I recommend this to everyone, you want to find the absolute lowest spending that you can have and still be happy, right? And so basically you want to have your income be as high above your expenditures as possible so that you have this cushion of cash flow. And then the cash flow is what you can use to then make differences in your life. One of the key issues is like, for one of the examples I'll give is like someone will get a raise at work and then they go use it to buy a new truck or a new whatever, right? They immediately go spend it and then it's gone. It's like, congratulations, you got all this money. Oh, it's all gone. And instead of going like, hey, I now have this, whoa, what was that? It was like glitching into the wall or something. Instead of saying, hey, I've got all this extra money, now I'm going to use it as a cushion, or hey, I'm going to use it as an investment tool, or hey, I'm going to, you know, whatever. Instead, they just spend it immediately. They treat it like they won the lottery versus, hey, now you have extra to help you, you know? All that. Having a nest egg. Yeah, that's an accurate depiction. Okay, magnesium. We have so much magnesium, so let's bring the cobalt home. Because I accidentally mined straight magnesium for way too long. But yeah, the investing is super fun. The key thing for me, like for example, is I'm really, really good at investing, and I'm really good with cash flow. My wife is really good with saving and really good with like economics when it comes to like spending. So my wife's really good at like finding good deals and stocking up during sales, and then keeping a healthy savings amount, right? A healthy amount in savings. My wife is really good at that. And then me, I'm very good at investing. I'm good at like finding things that need to be paid off, targeting them down. Like since 2019, I think I've paid down, we're going to talk money here. Real talk, people. Put your boots on. We're having real money talks here. I think, hang on, I got to run numbers in my head. I want to say, let's see, 27, 37, 57, 30, 80. In 5 years, I've paid off 80 grand. I think that's right. In 5 years, I've paid off 80 grand. Yeah, something like that. And just so you know, I hadn't run that number in a while. Hadn't thought of that number in a while. So literally just now when I said it, I went, is that right? And then went over to my head and went, yep, that's right. Yeah, because we bought our house. My wife wanted a new kitchen, and then we had some stuff break. So we had like 27 grand in that. And then I had my car, which was 24. We got it for 27, paid that off. My wife had 10 on hers, paid that off. And then we've paid down like 30, 40 grand on our house in all of that in like a 5-year span. And that's the cash flow part. I'm very good. Oh, and I put like another 40K into stock, which has doubled since I've had it. So it's like, you know, goodly amounts of you know, future proofing, right? Super alloy. I have all this super alloy. Let's tuck that away before I immediately forget. But see, that's money management, right? It's one of those key things that we don't teach at least in America, we don't teach it, not by default. Like, we don't teach kids how to balance a checkbook. We don't teach kids how to manage debt. You have a really good credit rating for someone else. It's amazing. That's good. That's very good. I think mine, I don't remember. Oh, so like, let's talk about credit for a second, okay? Because this is a good thing that, again, a lot of people don't know how it works. So credit is basically a system where you build a credit rating which tells companies that lend out debt that you are responsible enough to manage the funds they will give you, right? And so essentially what happens is, and I can give you a really good actual example. So for example, when I got my first car, like my first real car that I bought, right? My mom co-signed with me on it. I did not have credit to get a brand new car, right? So I got a car on lease. My mother co-signed with me. I had that car for 3 years and I made payments on it. And I was very good about never being late on my payments, right? So I was building credit. So I had that car for 3 years. My second car, so that lease ended, I then leased my next car, which is the one I have now. I leased it by myself. My mom did not co-sign with me on it because I had the credit. I had built the credit, and the credit card companies were like, yes, we trust you with our money, right? And so I was able to get a car by myself. And then my wife needed a car, so we bought her a car, and she co-signed with me because I had credit and she didn't. So she co-signed with me to get her car, and then we paid off her car and then paid off my car, right? Or paid off my car and then her car in that order, because I was money managing. And then push came to shove and we had the opportunity to buy a house, right? Land in our lap. Hey, this is a really good deal on a really good house. Do you want it? Heck yeah, we want it. So we got the house, and then no one co-signed with me on that one. My wife and I signed on the house with no one co-signing. So over the course of, over the course of 7-8 years, we went from no credit to buying a house credit. And it all came down to the different, ooh, I'm so excited. I'm getting my water mask filter thingy. Oh no, this is the air filter. I thought this was the water filter. Oh snap, look at that. We're already down to 1.5. That's fantastic. But yeah, the key thing is that money is a really good tool, but you have to like be responsible and respectful with it, right? One of the key things is we, as a society, we've decided that we're okay with this idea of just throwing around debt and like not respecting the value and cost of things, right? So it's like we all want to have really nice cars, we want to have really nice houses, we want to have really nice clothes, really nice vacations, but we don't want to earn them. We want to have them when we want them and not when we can afford them, right? So instead of like saving up and being good with money and responsible with money, we just want all the perks and fun of money without the responsibility of earning it, right? And that's a key problem with society. Is we've started leaning into this idea of, hey, debt is not bad. It's it's the fast lane, you know. And that's where, like, there's 3 different major investing groups that I listen to. And the one is Dave Ramsey, who talks about getting out of debt and staying out of debt. His content is really good on that front. Also, his stuff on real estate is decent. And he's quite successful himself with real estate. And then investments, my favorite is Peter Lynch. Peter Lynch, he was a investment firm manager in the 80s, 70s and 80s, and he was one of the most successful fund managers ever to exist. He was absolutely insane with what he could make money do. And he was like the best deal finder on the planet when it came to investments. Peter Lynch was. His stuff was phenomenal. And then the other major one, and this one is one where you either hate him or you love him, which I understand, because some of the time I love him and then some of the time I hate him. And that's what's his name? Robert Kiyosaki. He's the gentleman who he's like best friends with Trump, and he and Trump both built debt-based empires where you hedge debt and hedge value of properties over debt over long periods of time and short periods of time to make massive returns. And I don't mind his stuff. I think some of his he kind of feels like the old guy that wants to be cool in how he talks and deals with a lot of his stuff, which is kind of silly. But you know, to each their own, right? But yeah, for sure, the big ones for me especially was Peter Lynch. His content is phenomenal. His stuff is very, like, he teaches you like 5 or 6 different types of stocks or type of investment opportunities, what the good and bad of each is. One thing that he didn't teach on, sadly, because of when he was versus now, is he didn't really have time to talk about hype stocks, which are a real big danger now, that he sadly never really was around enough to give good advice on, sadly. But and that's stuff like, you know, like GameStop and what was the one the one that it was like I forget what it was. AMC I think was one of them. There was AMC stock, which was a meme stock. Stuff with like Dogecoin. And realistically, I don't even mind Bitcoin that much. My main issue with Bitcoin is that for how unconnected to the institution it's supposed to be, it sure behaves like it's connected to the institution. And I don't know if that's because of the patterns of the people that are buying and selling it are using the same mentality as the people in the institution, or if the institution has a bigger pull on it than we know. And that's the part that kind of scares me a little bit on that one, because it's like, the idea behind cryptocurrencies is phenomenal. I love the idea, but the practicality of how it's used versus how people behave with it, that makes me worry a little more, you know? Because there's great opportunity there, but there's also, like, the whole concept of getting into like decentralized currencies is good, right? Because the whole issue with traditional fiat currencies is that they're based off of nothing, right? There's no gold standards anymore. It's literally just the faith of the government that we're trusting. And it's like, great, if you trust the government, then great, you're doing fine. But if you've got, you know, governments printing trillions of dollars and throwing them at who knows who and not getting paid back for it, that's bad money management, right? It doesn't matter who you are, whether you're a government or, you know, a single mom from Iowa. Like, no matter who you are, printing money and throwing it at people is never a healthy money option. And something I've found, this is an observation, a personal observation. I've noticed that there's a lot of both institutions and governments that, I don't know how to say this nicely. There are times when doing nothing is the right call, right? Like, throwing money and throwing ideas at problems is not always the solution. Sometimes we don't have the solution right now, and doing nothing is safer than throwing money at it and messing it up, right? And that's one thing that I've noticed a lot, especially in my lifetime, is there's a lot of instances of that where we're just throwing money at problems that money can't fix. And so all we're doing is just wasting money to not fix anything. And those are the times that I get concerned, because it's like, what if you did nothing for 6 months, saw what happened, and then tried something, right? It's like, do nothing, see how the wave reacts to what's happening, and then try to affect the wave, you know? It's like a tsunami's coming, and they're like, we're going to build a brick wall to stop the tsunami, and then the tsunami just goes right over the top of it. And it's like, well, why don't you let the tsunami hit, see what the damage is, and then plan accordingly based on the damage versus based on, oh, well, we hope it does this, or we hope it does that, or if it does this, we might be in trouble. It's like, you don't know. It hasn't happened yet, you know? Or the last time something happened like this, it wasn't to this scale, right? And that's just my thing. I'm a very makes sense kind of person. Like, if someone says, I'm going to do this and it makes sense, I'm like, yeah, go for it. You do you, man. But if they say, I'm going to do this and it's a horrible idea, it's like, why? You know, I'm not going to support you in hurting yourself or hurting others for the sake of trying. You know, it's like, no, I'll support you if it's a good idea. If it's a bad idea, I'm going to politely tell you to not, you know? And I think that's just being responsible, right? And this is a fun concept. Let's see what you guys think of this one. So one of my favorite concepts is, if you look at people across all of society, right? People are either a net positive to society, a net negative to society, or they're nothing, right? They're not making society better, they're not making society worse. And so for me, like, from a very early age, I was one of the people that I immediately saw people that were trouble and problems, and I immediately went, I do not want to do that. I do not want to be that person, you know? Do you still stream on YouTube as well? I am streaming on YouTube as well. I'm streaming on both right now. In fact, here, hang on. I don't know how to check. My viewer count is for both YouTube and Twitch, I think. I don't know. I'd have to look. Erlo, how many viewers do we have right now on Twitch? Can you throw me a number for that? Yeah, because Fernando is on YouTube watching, and then Erlo's watching on Twitch. How many viewers do we have on Twitch right now, Erlo? 7 on YouTube. Oh, I don't have YouTube link. It says only one for Twitch. One for Twitch. Is it just you on Twitch right now? I know we had a couple earlier, so that means most of them are on YouTube that are watching right now. Yeah, we've got, my viewer count right now says 9 total, which would mean there's like 7 or 8 on YouTube and like 1 on Twitch right now. But to be fair, I've built a significantly bigger following on YouTube lately because I've been streaming and recording for a while. Yeah, just you on Twitch. Yeah, I've got it says 9 right now for viewers, which means most of it's on YouTube right now, which is fine. I got no problem with that. It was actually one of the things that drove me away from streaming back in the day was Twitch had the policy that said you couldn't multi-stream. And so because I had signed the affiliate thingy, and then I had requested to have them cancel my affiliate so that I could multi-stream, and they just blatantly ignored me. So it's like I either can't multi-record at that point, or I can only record to one or the other, you know? And that was one of the things that really ticked me off and got me off of streaming. But at the moment right now, most of my following is actually on YouTube right now. I have almost no following on Twitch anymore. It's all on YouTube. But yeah, I think I want to say this last month and a half, we're up like 100 subscribers on YouTube from the series that I've been running, all in this game, all in Planet Crafter, weirdly enough. But yeah, let's throw those down, throw that one down. So what is my YouTube? Just Cagorathe at YouTube. If you go to YouTube and type in Cagorathe, you'll see me there. At the moment, what I had been doing is I was recording. I would do recordings just offline, and then I was posting them. Ooh, are we, hang on. Oh, we don't have the iron. I was about to say, are we caught up? If we're caught up, I can start massing super from the excess, but we're not quite caught up yet. Come on, up over the top. There we go. But yeah, basically what I was doing